Good morning, folks, and welcome to today's Nephilim webinar, Libraries 4.0, Harnessing the Power of AR or AI to Create the Future of Libraries. This one is presented by Raquel Jensen. Just in case you're not familiar with her, it has been a little while since she has done something with Nephilim. She's an international social media speaker and business marketing trainer, merging social media, digital marketing, technology training, business strategy, and entrepreneurial leadership together. She founded Virtual Options in 2008, providing coaching and training to entrepreneurs and high-performing teams. Dawn serves as a marketing trainer and entrepreneurial advisor for the University of Central Florida's Business Incubation Program and the Small Business Development Center, providing deep dive advisory to build out strategic marketing frameworks that expand her clients' influence and impact in the communities they serve. She's a digital marketing professor and board member for Seminole State College's Entrepreneurship and Social Media Advisory Board. So folks, let's put your virtual hands together and give a warm welcome to today's presenter, Dawn Jensen. Dawn, take it away.
Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to share Libraries 4.0 with you. And for those of you who don't know me, I'll introduce myself in just a bit, but if we're going to look at the AI revolution. So a century ago, electricity transformed every industry, including agriculture, healthcare, transportation, and manufacturing. It's a springboard, it was a springboard at the time for new innovations and the most important engineering advancement in the 20th century. Now we have a new thing that has been coming along for a while, and it is actually starting to transform our lives. We're seeing this day to day. AI, or artificial intelligence, although we are in the early days, we're only beginning to grasp how completely this new technology is transforming our lives and the way that we live, work, and play. My name is Dawn Jensen. I am so excited to be back at Nephilim. I've been, I think, training on social media and technology since 2009, and prior to that, for those of you who have been around a while, I was a former trainer at CFLC. So it's been a long time, and I have to tell you that libraries and librarians and staff are near and dear to my heart. We are always, as libraries, we're always quick to adapt to technological advancements. And so with the rapid development of AI, it is essential for libraries to stay ahead of the curve. Now, a lot of these things you are already doing. You have already ingrained. A lot of the digital natives, Gen Xers, and newer have grown up with the technology. So it's sort of like second hat, because we realize that when we have the literal power of the world in the palm of our hands with our iPhones, AI is just a natural continuation of that. So I'm excited to share about artificial intelligence and how libraries can harness and benefit from it. In this webinar today, we're going to cover current and emerging AI trends, important benefits of AI technology, and implementing some of the tools of the technology as well. We want to look at AI strategies that you can incorporate, some recommendations of how to look at the tools that you're talking about in and amongst your organizations, and how you can help shape the future of libraries through AI. But before we go into that, we want to kind of get an idea of where we stand now. So what are the different categories of artificial intelligence? There's actually three. We have, we know that AI is wide-ranging in attempts to building smart machines with human intelligence aspects, but it's far more complex than that. And we are right now in the artificial narrow intelligence, or ANI stage. This is referred to as weak AI because it has a narrow range of abilities that's actually growing, and it's the type that we have for now used in things like facial recognition, speech recognition, voice assistants, and driving cars. We're heading into pretty strong the AGI, or the artificial general intelligence. And this is the ability to mimic human intelligence or behaviors to solve any problem. And we're seeing this now. It's not deep, but we're seeing that currently researchers are working to improve and consistently improve a machine's ability to understand, see, and learn how humans do. And then lastly is the ASI, or artificial superintelligence. This is the hypothetical AI that surpasses human intelligence and abilities. And it has always been a source of inspiration for science fiction, in which, you know, you see these end of the world, robots take over the world scenarios. But this is a superware, super intelligent machine that may be an exciting idea, but the impact on humanity remains a little uncertain. But there are many, many years, well, maybe not as we advance in technology, but there's many years, hopefully, before we're actually there. So among the current and emerging AI technology, we want you to think of AI-powered search engines or virtual assistants. Some of it is using to teach information literacy and critical thinking skills to help patrons and users formulate questions and evaluate responses. A great example of this is MIT libraries working with AI or machine learning researchers at the university to analyze various library tasks and workflows that might be enhanced by AI. It is important for academic libraries to make their collections accessible to AI tools like Alexa, for example, so that when someone asks a voice assistant for information, there's reputable literature available. So we are seeing more and more that libraries will be working to ensure that this information is available. One of the best known virtual assistants that you probably have on your phones, most of you, or at home, is the Apple Siri. So this is a consumer-facing personal assistant. Other examples of this would be Amazon's Alexa or Google's Google Assistant. But according to Statistica, there will be over 8 billion digital voice assistants in worldwide use by next year. And that is roughly equal to the world's population. There are several different types of AI assistants. We have chatbots, voice assistants, AI avatars, and domain-specific virtual assistants. We're used to chatbots. If you think about what you see via your finance apps, banking, travel, and even on Facebook, you're very familiar, or even business, you're very familiar with chatbots. But these are the mainstay of e-commerce sector, and it could be really relevant to how customer queries and how we're looking to support kind of their frequently asked questions. For voice assistants, this is the speech recognition. So this is the Siri and Google assistants I was speaking about earlier. AI avatars are coming into play now. These are the 3D models designed to look like humans, used for entertainment or to provide a human touch to our customer, user, or patron interactions. These virtual assistants or AI avatars are produced by companies like NVIDIA. So they have the true-to-life human avatars in real time. You're going to see more and more coming out, this ATP technology. This is avatar to person technology. It's based on a mix of artificial intelligence and 3D modeling, which allows people with disabilities or differently able to perform tasks such as virtual face reconstruction or virtual generation simulation to communicate online freely. And then lastly, we have domain-specific virtual assistants. These are highly specialized implementations of AI virtual assistants designed for specific industries. So they might be optimized for high performance in travel, finance, cybersecurity, or other demanding areas. So one example of an AI-powered search engine would be I'm going to get this a little screwy. Discover. This is an AI-driven platform. It's a search platform. This is to enhance interdisciplinary research by helping its users explore connections between concepts across discipline. And it also helps researchers, students, and educators further their knowledge across interdisciplinary fields and finding new and unexpected connections along the way. The University of Rhode Island has now implemented this into their organization. When we look at intelligent virtual assistants, we're looking at IVAs or intelligent virtual assistants or IPA, not like the beer, but intelligent personal assistants. These are both AI-powered agents capable of generating personalized responses. They're pulling from context such as customer metadata, prior conversations, knowledge bases, geolocation, and other modular databases and plugins. One example of this is Socratic. This is powered by Google AI. It uses text and speech recognition, and it finds the most relevant learning resources for you. Another example of virtual personal assistant is my character AI. So this is where a user can actually come in and, based on a text prompt, create an AI character that can now be integrated with voice, whether their own or somebody else's, in an interactive and intelligent way on their platform. And then finally, we have Core.ai, which is a search assistant, which this provides an intelligent conversational search to discover user intent from natural language, their natural language chat or voice utterances, to return contextual and personalized search results through a virtual assistant or a traditional search bar on web or mobile channels. This also provides an intuitive and easy to use interface that can be customized for websites, workplaces, and platforms. It uses AI and natural language understanding capabilities as well. Now, I've added this most recently because a lot of what we see in AI is centered around marketing. And when you think about this through a library lens, you also think about the marketing that you're doing and the expanding and the way that you share and expand your services to your users and patrons. So I want to just point out that Boger.ai is a really solid tool for you to take a look at. You notice that it's integrated with Chat GPT-4, but you can do anywhere from marketing quotes to first to third person. You can rephrase content, produce video scripts. So if you're doing activities within your library, this might be something that you might consider. So on that note, how is AI going to affect or change the job? Is it? So when we look at libraries, we're looking at how, we can utilize AI for digital support and help. We can connect patrons with library staff and virtual assistants, interactive voice response systems. We can use it for space reservations or chat, and that's awesome and amazing. And it's very helpful and useful because we always want to meet our patrons where they're at, and at the level of what they understand. So if we're looking at context, in the way that you probably work, and some of this might match what you do or what you have done in the past, but we're looking in context indexing. This is where fields of information are indexed and labeled for keyword searching, but with AI tools, this will surpass even our ability to index by providing more specific or accurate materials for readers. And as a result, it might help improve your time on the job. So this can identify concepts, assign them with corresponding keywords. It could use index automation that will help readers discover new literature, and that's not necessarily applicable through manual indexing. It has differences between academic and research libraries and public. So more on the academic research side, we're looking at how it can be supplemented by curriculum and research support, index-based discovery systems, and then how it's transitioned from, the library system to maybe a library services platform. For public libraries, it continues on kind of an automated environment. So this is how AI can be supplemented through enhanced discovery and patron or user engagement. Secondly, we have document mapping. So we are matching differences or similarities between indexed documents and non-indexed documents. AI machines can be better at processing the documents more accurately, and it can be, well, I should say, this is due to automatic indexing, proper indexing. They're now identifying similarities and differences between documents and patents, and it's essential that this knowledge is accessible, easier, and faster. So the third is what we call depth of citation. For AI algorithms, this is based on actual content of papers. This will create better mapping systems of the actual research and can help you, as opposed to for citations, as opposed to network of researchers presenting in a citation system. And then content summarization. AI tools are able to summarize just the section of a book or 5 documents into 3 sentences. These tools for content summarizations are available online, but they're also gaining popularity as well as machine learning algorithms. The other things that we're looking at are what I call quality of service and better operational efficiency. There's a number of these that we'll talk about in this regard. But as far as quality of service, think of terms, you've already been using this as chatbots that can answer directional or simple questions. It can alert to a new book that's published. It can direct a user or patron to specific library resources. The automation of this conversation between a patron and a machine will enable you to focus more on, in your copious amounts of spare time, I'm sure, will enable you to focus more on difficult questions or save time answering the repetitive ones. This will also enable libraries to extend opening hours, and I say that with a grain of salt, for both in-person and online services. But I want you to think in terms of it being avatar aided. And then in operational efficiency, think in terms of improving service effectiveness and reducing operational costs through the process automation. Optimize research data management, digital asset management, and the implementation of machine learning in the library's processes and digital resources can optimize collection analysis, visualization, and preservation. So this will reduce and possibly reduce expenses associated with these services. Now, This will augment your role, allowing you to be a little bit more creative. It can bridge the real and digital together, and hopefully it'll make your life a little bit easier. And hopefully you won't have just more to do, more options to do. As far as trends in the library goes, we want to be able to provide a more seamless lending service than we already have to connect patrons and online platforms, and AI can do this. And what we see now with voice recognition software, we're seeing this on the marketing end as well with commercial businesses, but voice recognition software will enable patrons to search using only their voice. It also, AI is lending itself to more sustainable alternatives. So to the plastic card, they're able to recognize, or they can recognize through things like voice recognition and also other tech that patrons and users currently have. And then lastly, we're looking at flexible library spaces. These are being used and developed for more immersive experiences. So think in terms of virtual or augmented or mixed reality. So libraries can use AI tools not just for information, but deep intelligence. And librarians can offer insight as a service. So I've seen IaaS as infrastructure as a service, but in the library world, it's insight as a service. Librarians can prepare by providing insight as a service, by identifying tools that might be relevant to user groups. And you have the insight on how your users search and use information, and you can actively support this development. This might mean to bring a text and data mining tool to an internal data set, or help a project team do and find new insights from existing data. It might mean that you may acquire a data visualization tool to help your users or patrons find those unexpected connections in the published literature. When we look at AI tools and their applications, I want you to take note of some of the things you probably already are doing and other places that have expanded upon it. So for instance, San Francisco Public Library uses BiblioCommons BiblioCore catalog, and it integrates the AI-powered book recommendations based on a user's interest or borrowing history. Other benefits of AI in libraries, while we have chatbots you may already be familiar with, whether you're using the Facebook Messenger or Slack or through your website. The MLK Library launched their KingBot in September of 2020, and it is a library chatbot that they have developed, tested, and deployed with minimal technical knowledge and no coding skill at a very low cost. They happen to use, I believe, Dialogflow for what they've done. And has more interactive chatbot elements than when this particular tool was initially built, but it removes the need for the Communicate support platform and its related cost. Some of the benefits of AI are the increased efficiency and productivity, the improved user and patron experience, and access to information, along with enhanced programming and outreach, and then the kind of advanced data analysis and the decision making from that. When we're looking at implementing AI technology in libraries, and I don't know if you've noticed on some of the images and items that are here are actually have been created through AI imaging. So I want to just draw your attention to the image on screen. This is created with DALL-E, and a lot of the images, if not all of the images that are in this presentation today are created with DALL-E. But when we're looking at implementing AI technology within libraries, we want to do a few different things. One is we want to assess where the current need and the resources are. We want to build in budget, plan and budget for any implementation. I know you have copious amounts of funds that at your disposal and every whim. And I'm assuming if it's like it was a decade ago or more, you are always asked to do more with less. So because, you know, librarians are much like bootstrapped entrepreneurs. You just figure it out. And the way that you do it is you let the technology do the heavy lifting. I think AI, with the partnerships in AI tech and the vendors, and even with community organizations, you can implement it much faster, much broader, and providing deeper level of service for users and patrons alike. And then the other thing is, you know, how does this affect those users and patrons? Offering the kind of training and professional development with your staff, as well as out to your public, is going to make a lot of sense. One example of this is the Digital Public Library of America, or DPLA. They have partnered with Semantic Scholar to implement machine learning and natural language processing tools, enhancing metadata quality and discoverability of their digital collections. So what does that look like? Well, this was launched in 2013, so it's been a while, right? DPLA brings together the digital collections from around the country into a searchable website for all kinds of reuse of in all kinds of purposes. So from visualization to data mining, this is an open access collection. It has, as stated, more than 47 million images, text, sounds, and it comes from America's libraries and archives and museums. So we have content contributed by partners like the National Archive and the Smithsonian Institution, as well as consortia like Mountain West Digital Library and the South Carolina Digital Library. So it connects people people to the riches held within the libraries and other cultural heritage institutions. So all materials found through DPLA are free and they're available in digital format. We know this from what we have in the state of Florida. We have something very similar. It's powered through Semantic Scholar. So this is the free AI-driven search and discovery tool. It's an open resource for the global research community. It has over 200 million academic papers. It's sourced from publisher partnerships as well as data providers and web crawls. When we look at AI tools, we're looking at the overall kind of popularity and reliability of the tool, what to look at as a pro and con of each tool, and kind of what the recommendations based on specific library needs and goals. So think of popular and reliable AI tools as IBM Watson or Google Cloud AI. So in choosing the right type, size, kind of tool, you want to be able to identify the needs, the quality of the data that's being provided. You want to evaluate the accuracy of the algorithms. You want to check for the interpretability of the results, as well as the scalability and the maintenance of the tool. Consider any ethical implications. We most recently saw that with ChatGPT and a few others when they bring back information as results that aren't necessarily accurate or sourced well. So we also want to check with the compatibility with existing systems that you currently have in your organization. So some of the pros and cons. Oh, I'm not sure why it's there. Hold on just a second. Had a little bit of a glitch, so we're going to see what we can do. All right. Some of the pros and cons are the efficiency, the experienced and enhanced user experience and data, decision making. We also want to see how and what it does to inform library decisions, what the innovation is as well. And the cons are the whether there's a cost, well, typically, what is the cost, if there's any biases within the data or the results, any kind of ethical considerations, and what is the learning curve to onboard this, to bring staff on board as well. So selecting the tools based on your need. One of the things, it's sort of the easiest to the most, the easiest to implement to maybe something that's a little bit more involved, but we have selecting tools based on, or tool types like chatbots, natural language processes. We have machine learning tools, things that you already are very familiar with, like OCR or predictive analysis, as well as speech recognition and sentiment analysis. So what you currently have, what you will need in the future, what is the tool that makes more sense, and how you can deploy it frictionlessly. So one of the things that, and I'm going to pause right here for just a minute because I want to be able to see this a little bit more clearly. Sorry about this. Is we know that in the tools that are being used right now, and I have a list for you as a resources for not only the information for today for the resource links, but articles, videos, and also a tool list that chatbots are being used through right now in many different libraries, including ours. New York Public Library is probably the one of the most noted, and again, examples of natural language processing or machine learning is with the University of Michigan. And oops, give me just a second. I want to see why this is not handling well. Let me just hold on just a second. Okay, we have examples of OCR with the British Library and predictive analysis in the Chicago Public Library, and speech recognition in Los Angeles Public Library. So one of the things that you're going to notice as we move forward is, what does this look like? Well, the University of Oklahoma has their APR project, which is their Projects in Artificial Intelligence Registry. This is one of the things that I have as a resource tool for you as well. The APR project, I believe, started in 2010 originally, and then was deployed in 2012. And it just is a listing, a registry, and open to the public with registration to use. The Danish Aarhus Public University, the MindSpot, is one of the other installations that provide immersive experiences for their users. That looks like a mix of augmented reality and mixed reality in their experience for one of their mixed use spaces. One of the things that we see in current and emerging technologies, in this presentation, we saw the importance and benefits of AI. We were looked at the implementation of AI technologies in libraries, and we also looked at some of the tools and their applications. I want to be able to take questions from you at the end of this. I know we're a little bit early and I have had a little bit of technical difficulties. I want to be able to come back and talk about that. But as an example of AI or avatar assisted, you'll notice at the bottom, this is created avatars that are created by DALL-E. These are elements that have been created based on one image. The elements are avatar assisted AI can provide voice recognition and an implementation to respond and reply to the most common types and kinds of content and requests from users. I want to be able to take questions. And go ahead and put them in the chat. And then the other resource links we're going to talk about is the AI toolkits for libraries, and one of the things about the virtual assistants and the artificial intelligence of library services. So when we look at artificial intelligence and how this relates and is ingrained with your library itself, we talk about the kind of the user journey. And this is not necessarily something you may have looked at in commercial ventures. We talk about customer experience or the customer journey. So from the time that your patron or user comes to the library itself, let me go back here. From the time that your user or patron comes to the library itself, what the expectation is and how they're going to respond to and how you're going to pull them in. So what does that look like? When we look at a user, what the user or patron expectation is, if they are able to reach out via chatbot on Facebook or chat app on your website, or they're able to search on your website, that's going to be kind of meeting them where they're at. You're giving them the technology in the palm of their hand where they are. Most libraries and organizations already have this. So how does this make it better? How are you able to, in terms of marketing, make it better? So yes, these slides and the links will be sent to you, Burl. You'll notice there's a number of them here. I have another page as well. We'll show you after this. But if you think in terms of a customer journey, so their initial content or contact with your organization is online, whether it's searching via hours or searching on your website or ask a librarian, you're able to see kind of and quantify how you are meeting their need. When they're coming into the library, how they're searching and sourcing the information. So as much as you are hands-on with automated help, how can you augment? How can you augment that as well? So I would invite you to look at what the customer journey is, what it looks like, and how it will actually apply, and how AI tools can enhance and affect that. The other resources that I have for you, in no particular order, and these last ones aren't necessarily on the library side as related to what I have on the initial page, but these are for things that might help. They might help your patrons, might help your users as well, and they're kind of would be a little bit fun also. So I want to thank you for your time today. I apologize for the little bit of the glitch. It's I will have this PDF as a PDF and as a PowerPoint if you choose it. The PowerPoint has the notes in it, so you'll see some other ancillary information or that you might want to read about. And I want to make sure that everybody has a copy of it. So I can send it over to Nephlin and have them send them both out and provide links for both. Thank you so much for your time today. I will now take any questions or conversations that you have. So the negatives of using AI, we've seen the influence of ChatGPT, and even with sources like Quillbot who can, or Boger AI that can rephrase information, you know, you're not going to be able to go around it. And I would invite and have this be an opportunity to teach students kind of the falsehoods, meaning that if providing them examples of teaching within ChatGPT, for an example, and then actually sourcing the material and looking at what is actually factually accurate from source material versus what is, let's say, homogenized from and taken from, you know, the last 2 to 3 years, 3 to 4 years, I should say, on an AI tool like Chat. So plagiarism has always been a problem. It will always be a problem. It's going to be harder to track, just like, you know, the having and creating art in the style of an impressionist and then have it. There's not necessarily a lot of legal, I don't think, has caught up with the way that AI in art is going to work. So for right now, we're kind of like where social media was in the early 2007, 2008. It is a wild, wild west, and there's not necessarily structure of legal structure and guidance for that. So in what I do for my students at the school, because we have papers and I've got projects for them to work on, you have a sense of when things are plagiarized, right? You have a sense of it because of the way the language is. You know how the students are typically responding, and then when they have a perfect paper or a paper that is in a voice that is not necessarily theirs, then there's a little bit of red flag. So what I've recommended and what I'm instituting in my classes is actually a section for ChatGPT and a section for how to source material, because the old way that we all knew, at least when I grew up, and I don't want to tell my age, is that we have to have 2 or 3 sources. So it may be that we're going back and not 2 or 3 sources based on the original same source that's just been rehashed from different newspapers and media. So I don't know that there's a great response to this. This is just a path forward, not the path forward. And it might be something my gut tells me, embrace it. It's not going away. As you see, it's going to be changing and adapting over time and faster than what we've seen in social media and the, you know, digital technology like our iPhones. If you haven't been into DALL-E, you haven't played with DALL-E at all, or Midjourney, I would invite you to do that. I did and I didn't put it in here because it wasn't necessarily relevant, but I did an example. I had actually ChatGPT create a Dr. Seuss style, book and verbiage, and actually went to DALL-E to create the images of it, and it did a fair job, but I don't know that it would have been something that I would have been particularly proud of. But it was actually pretty good. So Sarah says, I think your opening quote about the similarity of the advent of electricity and the advent of AI is a good reminder that AI will transform our lives, but could eventually be seen as a good transformer agent. Yes, agreed. Really awesome. So I did one of the things about the avatars, I did just as a last minute, because I wanted to see what it would look like. And so these are the avatars based on that image above that was created for me. So if you see any of these people in real life, run. And I think that I think they did a decent job. It's kind of scary without even playing with it. So the next part of that will be putting in my voice and adding voice to a virtual avatar that will actually be able to act as me for a lot of FAQs for clients. So that's going to be my next little project, my next step. But I want to thank you today for coming by, and please put the questions in the chat. I will be having the resource links as a PDF, and actually the presentation is a PDF and the PowerPoint as well, so you can see my notes during this. You're also going to see a couple of newer slides, possibly, or updated slides that I didn't see through here when the glitch happened. So I do apologize for that, but I thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have. If you have questions outside of this, you go back to your library, or you go back to your desk and drop me a note, drop me a line, let me know. But thank you so much for having me today, and I look forward to seeing you guys again soon.
Hey, thank you very much, Dawn. Another great presentation. We always love having you by here, and we'll have to have you over a little bit more often in the future. And
awesome. Thank you, Raymond.
okay, and folks, take a look there in chat as you put in your thanks and all that. There's a link to the survey I mentioned back at the beginning. Please take part in the survey. Once again, that helps guide us in determining what kind of continuing education opportunities we offer in the future, as well as helping us write our grants. And with that, I guess I'm going to close things up for today. Thanks once again to everyone for joining us today. And thanks once again to Dawn for another great presentation. And everybody, stay safe out there, and come back to us again real soon. We'll see you later.